This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
There he is, locked and loaded. How you feeling, baby?
Doing great. Oh, how are you?
Very good. I'm watching them tear up the recruiting trail, man. What are they up to, like for 2 or 3 in the country or something like that?
Yeah, up to number 3 now. I guess Texas must have lost somebody. Miami added Mark Fletcher on Monday, so that bumped them up to number 3 past Texas, which right behind Alabama and Georgia. So, yeah, I mean, look, they've done a phenomenal job. Mario and his staff have done a great job. I think, potentially adding a couple more players here when the official signing period gets started tomorrow. I think it's they're feeling pretty good about Damari Brown, the younger brother of Devontae Brown, the UCF transfer who committed to Miami yesterday. There's hope that they can land Conrad Hussey, who's a 4-star safety out of St. Thomas Aquinas, a Penn State commitment. So
they're going to land a guy named Hussey.
Yes, Conrad Hussey. That's right.
That's like an old adjective that people would use of women. Oh, she's such a hussy.
Well, this guy can play safety. I can tell you that. That's for sure. And then, a couple potential more transfer portal guys. Francisco Mauigoa, whose older brother is part of this recruiting class, the 5-star offensive tackle, the younger brother, rather, Francis Mauigoa. Francisco's former starter at Washington State at linebacker. And then Deontay Thornton, a former Oregon wide receiver that Mario recruited, top 100 recruit. He's probably going to end up taking another visit here in January before deciding. But those are kind of the big names to focus on here down the stretch. And then Thomas Gore, who's a defensive lineman out of Georgia State, who I've been texting with here in the last day. So we'll see. I think those are the names to watch for tomorrow.
All right. I mean, they're taking guys from different schools too in the process, right? So this is actually what I like is when I see them taking people like from Alabama and stuff like that. When we start
Javian Cohen,
no, I mean, I think that's important, dude. Remember, we were for a few years like, well, yeah, we out recruited this guy. He wanted Air Force, Wake Forest, and Tulane. What?
Right. Well, listen.
Like, really? That's what we're competing against? Come on.
Yeah, they're doing a much better job, getting players from fighting them off of good teams, the high school recruits, and then getting guys that have played at good schools, like Javian Cohen, who was a 2-year starter for Alabama at left guard. Alabama, of course, is always so uber loaded. He's got an easy replacement, a kid who's a true freshman who'll take over for him, but this is a kid who at least started 25 games there, including the national championship game last year. When Alabama played Georgia, and so look, they're bringing in guys that matter. Thomas Gore, 5 sacks last season. He's probably the best player on Georgia State's roster. I know you say, oh, Georgia State. All those guys help, dude. It doesn't matter where they come from. If they make plays and they're productive, you take them and you're happy and you're ecstatic.
But that kid might be at Georgia State because he might have had some academic issues early on, and now
he was 6.
He might have been a player. You know what I mean?
He's only 6 feet. That's the problem. But he's 275 and he's fast and he makes tackles for loss and he makes plays. I mean, he's very fast. He kind of reminds me of the Moultrie kid that they picked up from UAB last year, who again under recruited because he wasn't very big, but a producer, a guy who produces a lot of plays for you. So
not everybody has to be an NFL prospect, dude. Some of them can just be Myra Jr. and be a great college player. Right. And there's nothing wrong with being a great college player, dude. I mean, Craig Erickson was a great college player. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, that's how you win championships, with great college players.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's just, that's just the way it is. There's nothing wrong with that. Come on, man. You can win with the fly, Leonard Conley. Fine, bro. He helps you. He gets it done. He's not the biggest dude in the world, but who gives a crap, man?
No, you want guys that are productive and good people, and I think that's a lot of this is character and who loves football and that kind of stuff. Mario wants guys that love football, that really want to change the culture of the locker room. I think, from some of the conversations I've had here over the past week was, he was away. Things that you and I have talked about here many times. He was on the other side of the coast. Had no idea what he was walking into over here. Maybe overestimated the talent he was going to have to work with, and then was sort of surprised that they weren't as good as they were going to be. And it's hard to blame them when you're an outsider on the other side of the country. Doesn't matter if you're in the locker room for a year. You have that adjustment period. Very rarely do coaches come in and win right away. And I know there's examples otherwise. USC, Lincoln Riley, he had his star quarterback with him from Oklahoma. It's not like he didn't have an important piece to make them good. And the guy at TCU, Sonny Dykes, right? He was at the rival SMU. He was very familiar with TCU's roster and the kids that they were recruiting. So Mario was on the West Coast and was in a different world. And I think he's got a much better grasp now for what he has from a personality perspective in his locker room. And I think he's been recruiting these guys for over a year. He's gotten a chance to really get to know the guys that are going to be a part of this class. And certainly the transfers, they're all guys that are hungry, productive players where they're coming from.
How many people are going to be added to this with the recruits and the transfers?
Well, they're at 25 commitments right now. I'm expecting them to lose one tomorrow. I think one of their 3 tight ends, which they honestly don't have a problem with. Reed McCaskill will be flipping to South Carolina. He's a 3-star tight end. But if you do the math, you just add in the other names here. 24 commitments, 2 transfers right now, and then probably another handful. So that's 31 right now that you would say through this early signing period would end up signing with Miami, somewhere around that range. And then, like I've told you many times before, I think this thing is not over. Between now and February.
Because if like 20 kids are hitting the transfer portal, then you're telling me there's like another 15, 18 more kids to come, right? Because the 25 that you're talking about are just scholarship kids. And then you said 2 transfers. So right. Does that mean the 2 is only minus out of the, how many have transferred out? 15, 18, 20? How many have transferred out?
Well, we're up to 17 officially. But I do know that, it potentially could grow even more. That's 17. That doesn't include the seniors and the guys that graduated and ran out of eligibility. That's another 8 or 9. So again, the most important thing is to be at 85. It's no longer the 25 scholarship limit per cycle. You can go over that number. It's just to be at 85 come August when you're going to line up and play a game. You have to be under 85 scholarships. And of course, now there's creative ways around that. Right? You could take a kid as a walk-on and have somebody who has a lot of money and NIL money and help pay for their school that way and make them an unofficial, scholarship type player where they don't have to worry about paying for school. So the math, all of that stuff that we used to worry about back in the day, you can only take 25 this cycle, and that's a thing of the past. It's all about the 85 number. That's the most important number.
I just thought of something. Again, the cynical one in me. So if that stuff is happening where, okay, let's not use our scholarship. This guy's more of a walk-on, then he can pay his own way, but we're paying it through NIL. You kind of control the kid's fate almost, because if he doesn't maintain the grades or the pay, you can cancel it from one year to another, is what it sounds like, because it's not a 4-year scholarship that you've handed somebody, that now your responsibility now is there for 4 years. If the kid wants to study for 4 years and stay there, whether he's playing or not, too bad. That's your scholarship. You gave it up already. But in the other way, is it a way of also where they can also control the talent in and out too?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's always been a 1-year renewable scholarship. I mean, what right. The way it's been is the tradition has always been, the coach.
But we've never had this where somebody's going to give them the money to pay for their education.
Right. Well, I mean, that's happened at a couple of schools already, just since NIL was sort of started, right? I mean, you quote unquote preferred walk-ons, guys that you want to bring in, but you don't have space for necessarily. This is one avenue around it. But I just think, again, like, yes, they could control it, but that goes for all 85 as well. And in the end, like, all the new head coaches like Mario have 18 months. They can run guys off and basically pull them off the athletic scholarship. And then the school can say, well, we'll help you graduate. We'll help you finish school, but you're not on an athletic scholarship anymore. So, but in the end, I mean, all of these coaches are being honest and upfront with these players now, and just telling them, look, we don't want you here. You're not going to play. If you want to play football, go somewhere else. And then it's up to those kids to find another school to go to and go play.
The other thing, I gotta always ask you now, because I don't see anybody leaving, bro.
Yeah.
No coaching, right?
Not yet. I mean, look, I told you this is a slow drip with that process, and part of it was contractual. Part of it is contractual, right? Whatever's written and whatever these guys are getting paid. I think part of it is wanting not to look like you have to fire your staff after you spent all that money in 1 year. You hope those guys are able to get other jobs and leave in a, nicer way, so to speak. Look, every one of these coaches has been out on the recruiting trail. Every single one of them. Gaddis, Kevin Steele. I saw him on the sideline at the state championship games this weekend, watching Cormani McLean and Lakeland play. They're all out. Does that mean that they're all going to be back? No. It's just timing.
Okay. All right. I mean, it's just kind of weird how it's lasted this long and recruiting's going on, and you figure you need certain position coaches to help you in certain recruiting things, and it's just kind of odd.
People forget. Oh, I mean, go back to last year, just this past year's calendar. I mean, yes, Miami had a head coaching change, and that kind of put a bigger emphasis on it. But there are a lot of NFL coaches, for instance, that don't become available to the end of the season and don't start negotiating. So right. you got to take that angle of it too. The NFL season now runs into February. This college thing, I'm hopefully going to this coaching convention in Charlotte, North Carolina, the 8th through the 10th, and be able to find out. But I just think, I know we all want to see quick turnaround and fire this guy and fire that guy and bring in this guy and bring in that guy, but it's a different game now, especially with guys moving to and from, the NFL and back and forth with college. So I think we're a little ways away from those things happening.
Do you have any idea how much traveling Mario's been doing the last couple of weeks?
Every time I retweet one of his photos, he's in somebody's house. Like he's just always all over the country. And this is a national class. I mean, you have guys out from the West Coast. You have guys in Texas and in the Northeast.
Does he have a private jet?
Yes, he's got a private jet. That was part of the allure of coming to Miami, is having one of those to whisk you away and take you on your business. Yes.
Okay. All right. No, because I'm wondering, you got to have a private jet to be doing this kind of stuff, because God.
Yeah, you can't get on the traditional flight and go through
commercial all over the place like that. That's got to set you back big time, dude, because of delays and everything else, the whole mess that it is. You got to be. He's flying from one executive airport to another executive airport all throughout the country.
Pretty much, yeah, and flying right into wherever he needs to be. I mean, I don't know if he's taking helicopters. I want to ask him, does to beat traffic when he goes to Texas, does he just hop in a helicopter and helicopter in, or what? How does the travel process actually take place? So I know this. I know when I went up with him, he went to go speak at a high school in Lakeland when he was chasing Cormani McLean in March, and he said to me, he says, "Hey, you want to ride back to Miami?" And I said, "Ride back to Miami?" And he says, yeah. He goes, come fly with me. We can talk on the plane. And I had a rental car, and like a big idiot, I said, man, I can't just leave the rental car here at Lakeland High School. I said, I'll get in trouble. And so he went on his way, but I had a chance to jump on the jet and I didn't. I blew it.
Do you have AAA?
I do. I have AAA. I guess I could have had it towed all the way back to South Florida, but I don't know how much that would have cost me.
No,
I don't make that Mario money.
No, but wait a minute. Hold on a second. No, but you rented it, right?
Yeah, it was a rental car. Yeah.
From what company?
I think it was Enterprise or National. I can't remember anymore.
That's it. You just you call AAA and you have them drop it off at an Enterprise or whatever the nearest one. Yeah. And then you pay that $75 fee for dropping it off somewhere else.
Now I know for next time. Oh, I will definitely use that trick. But I've never had a coach ask me if I wanted to go on a private jet with him before. That was the one opportunity.
You got to think quickly, bro. You got to think quickly. Like, how can I dump this effing car? And then that's when you got to call AAA and say, "Hey, here, I'll leave the keys under the mat. Please take it to the dealership." And then you call on your way. You're on a plane, right? You can just call, "Hey, listen, I'm sending the car there. Charge me whatever you want. I'm hanging out with Mario, bitch." And
Should have done it. Should have done it, though.
That's it.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda.
Yeah, man. That's it. Facility-wise, what do we know about any of the improvements going on? Have they let you in on it?
Yeah, I mean, there was a presentation to the city of Coral Gables a couple of weeks ago because they have to get permission to do all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's as Mario called it, a spaceship, right? That's going to be the new football building. Over $150 million spent on that thing. It's going to take 3 or 4 years to build, to finish. But brand new facility that will, they make it, moving things around, tracks, all kinds of things at UM are going to be moved around so they can, sort of allow this thing to be built there, and it'll be beautiful once it's done. If you want, I think there's a YouTube. You can, whoever wants to check it out, they can check it out on YouTube. Is like a 45-minute presentation that was made to the city of Coral Gables. You just have to type in Miami and football facilities, and it's all there for you if you're interested in something like that.
All right. What else you got going on the athletics so folks can check you out?
Yeah, I've been busy. I just wrote a big article on Deion Sanders and Colorado and what is going on with the 13 kids that they essentially told to kick rocks that aren't part of the recruiting class anymore. But it happens. It's part of the business. So it's just kind of a peek behind the scenes of how things were handled with Deion. And
what'd you think of all the bullshit around people picking on him for leaving Jackson State? Which I love how people want to pick on someone to better themselves and their coaches and their families and their lifestyles and all that. I find it so selfish that anybody would pick on anyone who is trying to better themselves.
Well, I agree with you 100%. And I'd say this. I talked to some of the local high school coaches, guys that have poured their lives into helping young, black men in our society and helping them escape some of the issues that they have growing up. And all of them, including one who graduated and played quarterback at Jackson State, Daryl Heidelberg, who's been a coach at Miami Norland for 2 decades, and Coach Duke Johnson and Eric Flowers and all those guys. He told me flat out, he's like, "Look, man," he's like, "I know my alumni and people at Jackson State are pissed, but I applaud the guy. He's helping us. He's helping, African-American coaches, progress through the system. And this is a Power 5 job. And who knows how many coaches he's going to be able to help, land other jobs in the future with the success that he's having. That's just opening doors for others." Roger Harriet, who's been at St. Thomas Aquinas for many, many years, coach at the collegiate level, said the same thing. He said, Deion is a leader, for African Americans in the coaching field, and what he's doing is far more important. He doesn't have to be at an HBCU to help the cause.
No, and dude, you can only go so far there.
Yeah,
let's be honest. Come on, man. All right, Deion was using some of his own money, putting it back in because they just didn't have the resources. Overall, it's just the way it is, unfortunately.
And he may not have him at Colorado either, by the way. But
he's only going to have so much more money at Colorado, but he will have better resources. Plus, all his assistant coaches are going to get paid, a much more money than they were getting paid at Jackson State. And if somehow or another he has success at Colorado, that will lead to the next stepping stone and the next one. So that's just part of the process now. He proved himself at Jackson State. Now he's got to kind of prove himself now in Colorado. They're joining the Big Ten this year, aren't they?
No, it's UCLA and USC that are going to the Big Ten.
They're going to
after next season. They're going to stay in the Pac-12, but there's a chance that the Big 12 could be looking to bring them back from what I've heard. So we'll see.
Right. That's what I thought. Right.
The Big 12, right, back where they used to be with Nebraska and
right.
When those great games with their rivals there. But no, I think they're going to probably stay in the Pac-12 and we'll see. But that's the rumor you heard or the story you heard.
Yeah, that's what I thought, that they're eventually going to go back to the Big 12. And so I thought it was this year. So maybe next year or something. Oh, yeah, because why? Because they want to get to 16 teams, right? Or they want to have that power conference thing, right?
Correct. Well, the Big 12 has always been a Power 5, but they're losing.
No, but I mean, get to that whole thing of having 16 teams.
Right, having 16 teams.
All these Power 5 teams want to have 16 teams in their conference and all that crap.
Correct. And
right,
and the
right,
the Pac-12 is holding on for dear life and trying to sweeten the pot for the schools that are still there. And yeah, that's another part of our offseason that'll be coming up and be talked about, I'm sure, plenty.
Yeah, once the Pac-12 lost UCLA and USC,
it was pretty much done.
Yeah, bro, you're not keeping. You lost the LA market. You lost the LA market.
Yeah,
seriously, like it's over.
Well, they think adding San Diego State and having a team in San Diego would help, and I don't know that's. You're never going to get the same dollar amounts with San Diego State or any of these other teams.
An Aztec or a Trojan?
Yeah.
I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man.
Yep. But hey, this is the wackiness of college football today, man. This is what it's all about, the TV dollars.
But you can't. That's why you can't lose LA.
No, you can't.
You can't lose LA. And now LA went to another conference and they win that they got the LA market. They got both teams in the LA market. Even though UCLA has yet to do anything in forever, you know what I mean? But
they just took a 5-star quarterback away from Oregon. So that tells you, a kid from Michigan that was going to Oregon, a 5-star quarterback, Dante Moore, flips to UCLA. Well, why? He's going to go play in the Big Ten, baby. He's going to be all of his games are going to be close to home.
Of course, man. Yeah, makes all the sense in the world, man. All right, follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro. Catch his work there at The Athletic. Better yet, do what I do. Subscribe to The Athletic and support Manny, all the great writers, and get some great coverage nationally, even internationally with a little football. All right, Manny, as always, thank you, my brother. We'll catch up on Friday.
All right, I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, sir. There you go. The great Manny Navarro and our Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report, where you can get pretty much anything with a Canes logo. And by the way, $99 or more, you will get free shipping. Go to caneswear.com. If you're a Dolphins fan, they've got Dolphins gear. They've got Heat gear. They've got some really cool hats, man. They've got those off-color hats that are of different colors, but they're not of the team color, but you have the logo. And it's really, really cool. Panthers gear, Inter Miami gear. They've even got some Marlins gear for you, all kinds of stuff, man. So go check it out at Caneswear. Go to caneswear.com. If you can go personally, I'm telling you, it is like heaven. You're going to stay there for hours going, wow. 2511 South University Drive-In. Davey, go say hi to Brett, Jeff, all the great people out there. Tell them that Big O sent you. That's our Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report.